So let's take a closer look at what happened and the fallout. We've got two experts for you. Dr. Michael Emery is the co-director of sports cardiology at Cleveland Clinic. And Yo Murphy is a former player who has been involved in training young athletes and has actually spent time in the NFL. Dr. Emery, I'll start with you. From what you've seen, sudden cardiac arrest, is that now likely?
Yeah, that's very likely based upon the description and the actual news release from the team that said he had a sudden cardiac arrest.
Yo Murphy, like I said, you played, and I've been on the sidelines, and people don't understand. These are men 6'5", 200 and some pounds, flying at each other, elite athletes. Are we now reaching the point in the NFL and other sporting events where we need to screen for more underlying health conditions? In this case, what might have been a heart arrhythmia?
You know, it's like you said, you just started talking about how big and fast and strong these guys are. That's what I think is the big issue, is protecting them. You know, even if there's not an underlying issue, you know, what are we doing as far as the equipment? You know, that the hits that these guys are giving and taking, the force is ridiculous. So I think they're doing a good job as far as screening for everything. I just don't know how they're protecting regular football play. I don't know if that's a lot of effort's been put into that.
Doctor, one of the reasons so many players were crying last night is that I understand from the player standpoint, they see and hear what we don't see and hear at home. They understand how violent the sport is and what probably happened in that instant. We found out that CPR was administered while he collapsed on the field. What does that say about his chances for recovery? And also to what Yo said, are these athletes well enough protected with the equipment that they have now for the speed and the velocity and the violent force of what they're doing on a football field?
Well, you know, first of all, this is a tragic event. It's dramatic to see. It's dramatic to watch someone get CPR and get shocked. You know, even me as a medical professional, when I see it, it still affects me. So it's okay to acknowledge that this was a traumatic event, and the emotions there are real emotions. And, you know, our thoughts and prayers go out to the player, the family, the staff, and his teammates. You know, what is key in this situation is the emergency action plan. So they were prepared for this rare, and these kind of sudden cardiac arrests in athletic events are rare, but they were prepared for it with prompt recognition, activation of that emergency action plan, prompt CPR, and prompt defibrillation. So that plan, that rapidity of which they administer this increases chances of survival, but doesn't guarantee it. Time will tell us here in the next 24 to 48 hours what his prognosis is going to be in the immediate term, and then they can go through the pathway of delineating hopefully what caused this, because at this point it's too early to speculate what may have caused it.
Regardless of what caused it, Mr. Murphy, I'll ask you this question. You tutor and coach young players. We saw what happened with Tua. We think that he might have had brain damage, and now the question is, should he play? Should he finish out the rest of the season? We saw what happened yesterday with Mr. Hamlin. I'm a parent, and I come up to you and I say, I'm concerned about my child playing this sport. What do you say?
I'm concerned too. I'm a parent, you know.
Do you let your kid play?
I hope he loves baseball, golf. But, thinking about his mom,
what's the nerve? What's the nerve that just got struck?
Being a parent, I have House of Athletes. We have 24 guys in the building now training for combine to, go fulfill their dream, their goals. You see something like that, and I'm here for support. I'm here to help them to guide them. And I want somebody there to help my son and my daughter. What are you guiding them to? How are we protecting these young men? That's the nerve. What are we doing? Everything we can. I would say, are we doing everything we can?
Dr. Emery, let me put that question to you then. We're talking about billionaires who own sports clubs. They don't play; they own the clubs. The players are the ones that do the risk. They take a financial risk. The players risk their lives. Are you convinced from where you sit that enough is being done to protect athletes from risk of injury?
Well, from a cardiac standpoint, which is where my expertise lies, there's a lot being done to try to detect and prevent sudden cardiac arrest. Screening is controversial, but thankfully sudden cardiac arrest in young athletes is quite rare. So I don't have a major concern about my kids playing sports because of the risk of sudden cardiac arrest. The key part is that no screening program is going to be able to 100% eliminate or find every condition that could predispose a young athlete. And these emergency action plans are non-controversial in terms of their ability to save someone's life.
Mr. Murphy, because this has been so emotional for you, I don't want to leave without giving you the final say in where we should go next. What are the next steps that we, not only as a news organization, but as a public, should take to make sure that this becomes a teachable moment? What are your thoughts?
I think, like Doc said, just everything being done and what can be done. The money's not a factor. They make money, they spend money. The NFL it's entertaining. It's an amazing opportunity that I had, and I would not give it up for the world. And so I'm not talking bad about the NFL, the sport of football. Just what else can we do? What are the things being done? We put somebody now on the field, and they have an independent doctor that tells someone when you can go back on the field after concussion. Then we see that happen to Tua. Is everything being done? Is everything being done? And that's the thing. We need to see it. Don't say it. Let's see it. Let's get behind the drapes.
We will keep asking the questions. Dr. Michael Emery, who is the co-director of sports cardiology at the Cleveland Clinic. Yo Murphy, former football player for the NFL, vice president of pro sports and House of Athletes. All of you, I want to thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
When we come back, something positive. A new survey finding that California's snow season off to a terrific start.
One of the best starts to the season in decades here in California, but as the rain keeps coming down.